Aloha! Welcome to TMDR, the Maui Daily Report for Tuesday, April 14th, 2026. I'm Patty Lee, and these are some of the stories that you may find interesting today. Gunfire broke out near a Little League practice at Kualapu'u Recreational Field on Molokai last week, with 2 shots passing just feet from an 11-year-old and his teammates, said witnesses. And reportedly, this isn't the first time that this has happened. The Maui Police Department suspects it may have been reckless illegal hunting or poaching activity and are investigating. Community members are now calling for stronger enforcement, better safety measures, and possible changes to youth sports schedules to prevent future danger to families. In breaking news, the Hawaii Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs had nearly unanimous opposition from Maui residents against Spectrum and DCCA's slashing of millions of dollars from community television funds. And resolutions to that effect were passed by all 4 counties in the state. However, DCCA has approved a 15-year cable franchise renewal for Spectrum and is planning devastating cuts to Akakū's budget over the franchise term, beginning as soon as this June. They have done so without any community ascertainment study or due process. Here's the story as it stands right now.
Hawaii has been pretty good over the years at preserving open space and was one of the first and only states to protect electronic green space by requiring community access cable television channels by law in every county.
Aloha. Thank you for joining us here in Hawaii, where we are proud and fortunate to have a vibrant community media network of public access channels. These channels showcase the diversity of each island community and play a key role in civic engagement. Community media provides valuable programming that's not available anywhere else.
Hawaii created fully local cable access stations on each island, a place you can trust, where you don't have to log in, be subject to censorship, manipulation by hidden algorithms, or have your personal data compromised.
On April 27, 2011, Governor Abercrombie signs a bill to protect public access.
Done.
Absent the capacity, the desire, the determination of Akakū and its brothers and sisters all across the rest of the state, we wouldn't have this opportunity to be able to get information and perspective and discussion out there, and you don't want to let it go.
But today's DCCA is more than happy to let it go. The People's Electronic Commons is now in process of being defunded by the Hawaii Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs in partnership with their corporate masters they're so eager to serve, Spectrum.
Maui has survived the unthinkable. Through fire and loss, one voice has helped to keep us connected, Akakū. Now, entities within our government want to silence that voice. They are planning to cut nearly 20% of Akakū's funding. This means losing wildfire recovery reporting, community news, emergency alerts, local media training, and coverage of local county meetings. Spectrum makes $100 million from our community, and now they want our government to take public access funds to give them more?
Yep, that's exactly what they want. Trump is not even halfway through his second term, and his FCC has already nearly achieved complete corporate control of all media by his cronies, and continues to orchestrate the destruction of public and community media. And the DCCA is going along for the ride, making a false claim that the Trump FCC requires them to do so. In November, DCCA slashed funding for Akakū's sister station, Hawaiian, on Kauai, crippling their ability to operate.
The Hawaii Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs may want to take the word consumer out of its title. The DCCA has just awarded a cable franchise renewal for the county of Kauai and transfers a considerable amount of public access funding from Akakū's sister station, Hawaiian, and gives it back to Spectrum to fund a non-transparent, state-run institutional network.
I believe that what's being requested by Akakū for the Maui renewal is not a big ask.
And on April 2nd, DCCA ignored nearly unanimous opposition from hundreds of Maui Nui residents.
We're under the assumption you work for us, and that doesn't seem to be the case right now.
And dropped a 15-year franchise renewal for Spectrum on Maui County, cutting millions from Akakū's bottom line. And DCCA is not done. Naleo on Hawaii Island and Alelo on Oahu are next to get the axe. But the fight is not over. Akakū and our esteemed colleagues will continue to fight this gross betrayal of a public trust. The question now is whether or not our elected officials will listen and act to undo this travesty. This is an election year, after all. Why don't you ask them?
If we don't have you, it will not just be our media system that goes fully dysfunctional. It will be our democracy itself that goes fully dysfunctional. You are that essential to the future of this country.
The Hawaii Department of Health issued brown water advisories for several Maui beaches yesterday. They recommend staying out of affected waters for 2 to 3 days after the rain has stopped and the beach has received full sunshine. Notices were issued for Kamaole Beach Park 2 in Kihei and Kanaha Beach Park in Kahului. And over on the west side, Puamana Beach Park to north of Launiopoko, and from Hanakao'o Beach Park to Wahikuli. The Maui County Department of Public Works is having a hard time getting their job done because they only have a single engineer working to manage 2 storm disasters as well as ongoing recovery from the August 2023 wildfires. Director Jordan Molina is appealing to the County Council to bring in staffing support, but lack of competitive pay seems to be one of the obstacles standing in the way. 2 new off-road big dog tanker trucks have been donated to the Maui Fire Department by the David R. Sayre Memorial Foundation, a Big Island nonprofit. This will boost wildfire response capacity after losses in the 2023 Lahaina and Kūna fires. The custom 4x4 trucks carry 1,250 gallons of water each and are designed for our rugged terrain. The donation was a major investment in Maui's firefighting readiness, with more to come reportedly in the pipeline. Power was out for a large section of Wailuku again yesterday for the second day in a row. Sunday night, a downed tree took out power for a large area, including Iao Parkside, for 5 hours starting around 11 p.m. And then nearly 4,000 customers lost power Monday afternoon until 5:10 p.m. Maui's tourism recovery is gaining traction, with January bringing about 236,000 visitors and pumping more than $664 million in spending. November saw double-digit spending increases despite fluctuating arrivals. These are good signs, but the rebound remains uneven, with some areas and businesses lagging behind, meaning that concerns persist about long-term reliance on tourism to sustain Maui's economy. Even the simple scarecrow is going digital. Seabirds often collide with power lines, so Hawaiian Electric is doing something about it by installing 125 acoustic Seabird protectors starting Monday, April 20th, weather permitting. The devices generate sounds that tend to repel the birds. The Coast Guard has just wrapped a month-long Pacific Ocean patrol covering 4,000 nautical miles, including the restoration of tsunami warning capability on a remote atoll, delivering humanitarian aid, and conducting fisheries law enforcement in waters surrounding the Northern Mariana Islands, Guam, and Micronesia. Maui's former Hale Mahaolud Executive Director Roy Katsuda has been nominated to the State Policy Advisory Board for Elder Affairs, which helps shape Hawaii policy on aging, long-term care, and senior services. A Lahaina Luna High School graduate, Katsuda shared decades of work on Maui supporting kupuna through senior housing, housing counseling programs, and services like Maui Adult Daycare. care, helping residents age in place. At the Molokai District budget meeting last night, residents came out in force to restore $600,000 in funding for the Molokai Rural Health Community Association's Kupuna program, calling it a critical lifeline serving over 700 seniors. Testimony also highlighted services from transportation, food, medical care, and social wellness programs. Officials noted some programs were left out of the budget due to missed deadlines, but may be reconsidered. Maui-grown coffee has resumed production with its 2025-2026 harvest, marking a major recovery milestone after the 2023 Lahaina wildfire destroyed its facilities. Fortunately, its Kaanapali coffee fields were spared by the fire. The harvest is being processed temporarily at Central Maui facilities with plans to rebuild on site as operations ramp back up. Locally, the new harvest is expected to be available through Maui Grown Coffee's online store, select Maui retailers, and partner roasters across the island. There is nothing quite like a cup of joe to get you jumping. So let's join in the fun and take a look at the 2023 Maui Coffee Growers Seed to Cup Coffee Fest.
Things were jumping at the Maui Tropical Plantation this weekend. Why? These people were hopped up on caffeine, Java, lots of cups of joe. The occasion, the annual Maui Seed to Cup Coffee Festival. Everything you ever wanted to know about Maui-grown coffee. How to grow it, how to roast it, how to brew it, everything. And great music, too. But my favorite part is the Barista Throwdown, where the judges get together and decide which squiggle is the best squiggle on the top of the cup of coffee.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
They steam, they pour, they squiggle, they deliver. Look at that. Looks like a spider or an octopus or something. Kind of unique. The judges. This next competition is between Anthony from Espresso Mafia in Makawao and some guy named Daryl, an interloper from Oahu. Look at that. Tough decision. Do you go with the tulip with the squiggly thing underneath it, or do you go with the more classic tulip on the right? Not easy decision for the judges.
We're trying to take it out. 3, 2, 1.
It's unanimous. It looks like Daryl wins the round. And as it turns out, Daryl Fukunaga from Oahu wins the whole shebang. The Barista Throwdown goes to Daryl Fukunaga from Oahu. There you have it, the Maui Seed to Cup Coffee Festival.
The Masters of Hawaiian Music concert featuring George Kahumoku Jr., led Ka'apana, and Sunny Lim will take place tomorrow, April 15th, from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Napilikai Beach Resort, showcasing traditional Hawaiian slack key guitar, ukulele, and vocals rooted in local musical history. Open to the public, the show highlights award-winning musicians and offers a live cultural slack key experience. And that's it for today's Maui Daily Report. Mahalo for joining us. This is how we stay connected.